What's going on, guys? It's Jamie and welcome back to another video and welcome back to the house buying series. We thought it was about time that we shot another house related vlog for you guys. We have been living in the house now for about 2 months. It's actually a little bit more, isn't it? It's almost nearly 3 months.
Coming up to 3 months, yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it would be useful to come on here and give you guys a little bit of information about our experience.
We thought we'd just give you an update on the first couple of months and what's changed both on the development in our house.
We're going to sit down towards the end of the video and have a bit of a chat with you guys a little bit more in depth about that 2 month period, but before we do that we just wanted to show you a few updates that we have made to the house, because if you've seen the last video, which was the full house tour, there were a few things that were still unfinished in the house and since then have been updated, so we're going to do that first.
So the first thing that we have changed in the house that we wanted to show you was our gallery wall. If you remember in the last video we said that we wanted to do some kind of gallery wall above the sofa in the living room, so this is what we went for in the end. All of these prints are from Desenio and so the frames. We wanted to make the living room really nice and cozy, so the theme that we went for was kind of naturey, dark, cozy vibes, just to keep it nice and warm in here. So yeah, this is the gallery wall that we went for.
We also have a bit of an update in the bedroom. You may remember in the house tour we said we wanted to do something with one of these two big walls. We ended up going for the one over the top of the headboard, and you may actually recognise these prints. These are from Lucy's old bedroom back at her mum's house. We really love them. We absolutely love New York, so we thought we'd just reuse them here in the bedroom. We actually got these two ledge shelves, are they called?
Picture ledges.
Picture ledges. These are from Desenio as well. I'll link their website down in the description with everything, but these are basically just some wall hung shelves, but they're really narrow just for putting prints on. We really like them, and it's just a really nice feature for the room.
And then the last gallery wall we wanted to show you in the house was the one in the second bedroom, which is my dressing room, if you remember. So this is what we went for in here. I went for the same layout as what we've got downstairs, but just used white frames instead, just to keep the room nice and bright, just because it's a bit of a smaller room, so I wanted to try and make as much space as possible. And the theme that we've gone for here is kind of pink neutral to go with the sofa bed and everything else in this room, and boobies, lots of boobies.
So it's been really good to get these gallery walls finished. If you do remember in the house tour, that was quite a prominent thing that we just really wanted to get done, just because we had like such empty spaces in the house. It's nice to get them filled up, a little bit of colour in the rooms, and just something else to look at and fill the walls in the rooms that they are in. So the next thing we wanted to show you guys is something really exciting, and something that actually only got done just this week. Right from when we moved into the house, we knew that we were entitled to some under unit lighting in the kitchen, so some little LED lights underneath the wall units, and we never had it, did we, right from when we moved in?
Miles away.
We never had it right from day one, and it was something that we always used to ask about in the emails and stuff. We knew that right from the start that we were supposed to have it. It got put off for ages and ages, didn't it? But lo and behold, we finally got this rectified this week. We finally have some lighting underneath these units, and we don't have to use the big lights all the time in the kitchen. We also obviously have the light here. I really like them. I think they look nice. Lucy isn't 100% sure.
I just thought they were a bit clunky. I was expecting them to be like proper flush under the unit, and at my height, if I stand here, I can see these big clunky triangle things underneath there. So
Lucy can kind of see them, but up my height, like, we can't really. So I think they look quite nice. I mean, at least, yeah, it's nice to have some light, and at the end of the day, the power is there now, so if we did ever want to change these, then we could. So it's just nice to have some nice little ambient lights in the kitchen. And the last big development, and something that is a massive change, and again something that only literally got done just this week, we finally have some turf in the garden. So if you've been following the house buying series right back from the start, you may well remember that we said that our garden was just left as mud basically when we moved in. I haven't actually mentioned it in the last couple of videos purely because it was just a swamp, but basically the weather was so bad when we moved in, and during that period they literally just couldn't do the turf in the garden. Finally though, as of this week, he was here yesterday doing the turf, and we are so happy with it. It's so nice to just be able to look out the back windows and see grass on the floor rather than this horrible like swampy stuff. Only annoying thing is this stupid manhole cover that they put right in the garden. It's really annoying, but we're just so happy that this grass is finally done. We've actually got some big plans. Should we go in? It's cold.
Yeah.
So as we approach the spring and the summer, we've actually got some plans for the garden that we will share with you guys in the near future.
Look out for the old garden transformation video, lads!
It's fine as it is, but there are a few little things that we just want to do, aren't there, in the garden to make it really, really nice. Don't want to say much about it now. As I said, keep an eye out for those garden videos in the summer. So that is basically everything that we wanted to show you guys regarding new things and updates for the house. The only other big thing that has happened since the last video is outside the front now on the estate. We finally have tarmac paths and a nice tarmac road, because when we moved in these were just horrible concrete. So that's finally been done, and really as a whole the development, I think they're going soon, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty much almost done.
Yeah.
Obviously we're at the end of the development, so
as I said, and obviously the point of this video, we now just want to sit down, have a little bit of a talk with you guys, talk about our experience of our first 2 months living in a new build house. So all in all, I mean, our experience has been very positive, I would say. We haven't had any major problems really at all, have we?
no, nothing, no leaking through ceiling or
big electrical faults or anything
Yeah.
like that. Obviously you hear so many horror stories of people moving into new builds having all these problems. Touch wood, I mean, we have been absolutely fine. In regards to the issues that we have had, because obviously it hasn't been completely plain sailing since we've moved in, we have had a few issues here, a few snags here and there that we needed to rectify. We have been thinking about doing a full video all about snagging and the process, the issues we had, how we found it, if it was good or bad, blah blah blah. So please guys, let us know down in the comment section if you think that would be a useful video. But I mean, mainly for us, the snags have been decorative and cosmetic things with
easy fixes, really.
Yeah, like stuff, basically painting and decorating stuff that was a bit shit and needed to be rectified. Funnily enough, a lot of these painting snags still haven't been rectified.
2 months in.
Yeah.
So we had a courtesy visit after 2 weeks, which is basically where you raise all your snags that you've noticed over the 2 weeks of living there. I think in a normal scenario these would be fixed within 28 days and then you'd get passed over to customer care. We are still getting snags fixed 2 months in, I think partly because of COVID and partly because we are at the very end of the development, so there's not been such a rush to get those done. There's not like a big builder's presence on site at the minute. Obviously a lot of the people, all of the sales team have gone anyway, and the only actual site people that are still here is basically like the foreman and the assistant and a couple of other people. So getting things done has been a little bit tricky, as Lucy said, with COVID and stuff. Hasn't been made any easier, but don't get me wrong, most of our problems have been rectified. We had a big snag list and a lot of the things we have been able to cross off of it, but the things that still haven't been done is, as I said, mainly the painting. There's still basically all of the defects in the painting that we pointed out at the start still haven't really been rectified now, which is a bit annoying, but you know, obviously not life-threatening, they're not like massive things, but it would have been nice to have these done within the couple of weeks that they said they were supposed to have been done. So that's something to look out for. If you are moving into a new build, you may not get all of your snags sorted within the time period or as quickly as you may hope. Effectively, since we moved in, we only had 2 issues that we would, you know, declare as major. As I said, we can talk about these in more detail in a snagging video if that's what you guys would like to see, but these were just really annoying problems because, I mean, in theory they should have been dealt with before we moved in. The fact that they weren't was just annoying initially, and then it took so long to actually get these problems sorted out. Once we were moved in, there was a lot of back and forth between Lucy and Bovis on emails and phone calls and stuff, and it was just really frustrating because obviously when you move in, with some things you should be ticked off and signed off and they should be done and ready, and in our case they weren't, and it was just really frustrating having to keep going back and forth with them about things. I think if you're buying a new build and you're moving into one, you need to be prepared to get frustrated at going back and forth a lot of times with the developer, a lot of times to try and get things done right.
I mean, I don't really want to, you know, shit talk on new build developers too much because they are really useful, but it seems like once you've moved in, maybe there's not as much effort from their side of things to rectify stuff. But
yeah, it's just something you got to be
be wary of it.
I think also I was going to say, I don't really know how it would work in normal times, but obviously with COVID, I was working from home daily, which obviously makes it easier because there's always somebody in to fix issues. But I went through a couple of weeks of working from home and I had builders every other day, and I wasn't told when they were coming and stuff, and obviously that's quite disruptive to the day of work. Just need a little bit more communication about when we can expect people to be popping over to fix things and stuff. It was just quite frustrating.
Now, I don't want to, as I say, talk badly about new build developers too much, because I would say as a whole, overall, our experience with Bovis, who was our developer, has been one that was very much positive. I mean, as a whole, we wouldn't really have a whole lot to say that was negative about it, because obviously they've done everything they can from their side. And as we said, in these current times, with a global pandemic, it is difficult for stuff to run smooth. So don't let this in any way, shape or form put you off buying a new build. Of course, if you are in the position where you're thinking about, or you are buying a new build, you will already be well aware that they have this reputation anyway. So don't let it put you off, guys, because overall the experience has been absolutely fine, and we have an absolutely beautiful house. And it's just pros and cons, and as I said, sometimes perhaps the experience can be a little bit more on the negative side, but overall we have been fairly well looked after by the developer. Something else that we just wanted to add regarding the first couple of months in a new build house: of course, once you move in, there is a very high chance that there is still going to be some building works going on. Our scenario was a little bit different, as we've said. This row of houses were basically right at the end of the development. There hasn't been a whole lot of activity, but even so, we have still had...
It's still been noisy, isn't it? We've still had lots of trucks and stuff going past.
Yeah, and obviously since I've been off work with my wrist, I've noticed it a whole lot more as well. Like, there'll be a lot of plant, which is like forklift trucks and big machinery going past. Very noisy, and obviously, I mean, I'm quite thankful that we're at the end of the development, because if you're buying a house at the start of a development, be well aware that it is going to be noisy and there's going to be builders there. And if you are at the start of the development, it could be for like another, you know, couple of years after you've moved in. Be aware of all of these things, guys. Like, it's not just stuff inside the house that is going to perhaps affect you, it's everything on the whole development as well. And then leading on from this, there may well be stuff in the pipeline in and around your development that is going to be done in the future as well. In our case, right at the back of the development, there is what used to be a community centre, and since the development started has been like the site office. Yeah, basically the site office for the whole development. Once they've gone, that is then going to be renovated again into whatever it's going to be.
Fingers crossed it's got a bar.
Yeah, or a basketball court. So it's just stuff to think about, guys. Whenever they do that work, the road in front of our house is going to be basically one of the major routes for everything to go back and forward from there. So
to think about that.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of things, guys, that you basically need to take into consideration when you're thinking about buying a new build house. As I said, not just to do with the house itself, but to do with everything else around it. I think that is everything that we wanted to cover in this video for you though, guys. Hopefully you have found it useful. We just thought it would be a good idea to let you guys know what the first couple of months of life have been like inside a new build house, give you guys a little bit of a download on the experience, and hopefully give you some helpful information if you are in the process or thinking about being in the process of buying a new build yourself. Please let us know down in the comment section if you did find it helpful, or if you have any more questions about it, just drop them down there as well and we will answer them. And as we said, please let us know if you want to see that snagging video, because we've probably got a lot of shit we can talk about, haven't we? If you did like the video, guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me. We would really, really appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, or if you just haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well for new videos every single week. And we'll see you in the next one.